on the draw with the Stand United. Paid off big time. Back in the draft here. We'll see what they have for us.
All right, let's see what Echo Fox does in this draft to sort of change things up a little bit. Obviously, some gears have to be shifted if they want to find a win here. Game number 1 didn't exactly end up going the way they wanted it to go. Likely going to see a little bit more care around level 1 from these guys, but Rise and Kha'Zix banned away first by Echo Fox. Katie is saying, you know what? I'm not feeling the Kha'Zix anymore. We're not doing that. And Immortals is saying, yeah, we're not really feeling the Rengar either, taking that and LeBlanc off the table.
Yeah, banning out that Kha'Zix essentially forces your opponent's hand at banning the Rengar, because if they're not willing to give that up, they will have to ban out the Rengar, and they may even be forced into banning Graves here as well, because that's certainly the trade that we're trying to see Acadian get. So this is a pretty smart draft from Echo Fox. You ban the Kha'Zix, you say, oh, you got to give me the Rengar. Oh, no, we're going to ban the Rengar. Okay, well, you ban the Rengar, now you got to give me the Graves, right? So they're kind of forcing their hand in this draft with one jungle ban. They forced 2. I think it's pretty well done. Although the Malzahar support, you know, it is good. Is it really this ultimate prize that you wanted first pick? To me, I don't know.
Is that the trophy? Is that what we were playing for the whole time with these mind games during the first banning phase? But if you're Echo Fox, the answer is yes. Immortals now have 2 picks to see what they want to go for. Jace, no surprise to see him locked in. One thing to also point out, Camille made it past all 6 this time around, so don't be surprised if you see her picked up by either of these teams.
So Elise for Dardoch there. Pretty interesting. Jace likely going to be going mid lane, but once again could go top. Flame likes to play this as well. There's a lot of options now for Echo Fox as to where they want to go. You know, they could allow jungle picks to fall even further. I don't think that would be too bad of a decision, but they are going to decide to lock it in early, and they feel like they need to get their AD carry. So, you know, the solo lanes would be more of the kind of interesting picks for Echo Fox, because that is where they have the more unique styles, things like the Singed and the Anivia and the TF, but they are going to elect to let that go through.
Well, we're going to see the same AD carry matchup in game number 2 that we saw in game number 1. So Keith is saying, okay, it didn't work out the first time. We're going to try it again. Jin's very powerful right now. He's seen a lot of success. So let's make this happen here the second time around. Ban phase number 2, Looper Singed again, targeted out.
Yeah, and I think that Immortals is just going to have the same round of bans, because both the solo lanes are available once more. So if they didn't want to play TF and Singed last time, they probably won't want to play them this time again. And when their composition worked out, I definitely don't think we're going to see any changes there. You could see Flame targeted a little bit. The Shen was pretty problematic if they do want to take that away. And I think that banning out the Karma for Olay, while it does pair very well with the Sivir, and I respect that ban as far as this is a champion synergy that we want to get rid of, Olay as a player, to me, is much better on things like Thresh, on things like Bard, on things like Morgana. That is generally where he has been targeted by other teams, because he's known as a player who is better playing engage styles than these other styles. So this is a ban that is targeted at the champion rather than the player, and sometimes I feel like those don't really work out as well.
Well, speaking of bans targeted at players instead of champions, Froggen again going to earn himself a Twisted Fate ban coming out from Immortals, their final one so far for this draft. And Zyra will be the last ban from Echo Fox. Double support bans in that second phase.
They may be trying to get him to play something like that Thresh or like the Morgana. He also showed Janna yesterday that worked quite well, but it was against a more heavy dive composition. I don't think you really want to draft Janna into what you're seeing shown from Echo Fox right now. Will be Nami. Nami is definitely something that works very well in lane. It is a bit of a lane bully, and I think that when paired with Sivir, Sivir has the push, and then you can use Nami to really harass out your opponents under the turret, and that can be pretty effective.
Definitely has the potential to be a really scary combination. We'll have to see what Echo Fox want to respond with.
Camille support? Question
on
mark?
their last 2 picks. It could be. She's still available.
Yeah,
never know.
It is, you know, they have to do some crazy stuff. They would have had to flex Malzahar mid, and they lock in the Corki, so we know they're not doing that now. But Camille is still available to go for Looper top lane if you wanted to go for it, and it's just going to fall completely through the draft.
Yeah.
Unless Flame takes it right now.
Unless Flame picks this up, this will be a draft where Camille was neither picked nor banned. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, it is pretty crazy.
In 2017.
We've seen some teams do that with Rengar, where it's like their players just don't feel like they can play it, but Camille just seems so standard from top laners, and is still considered very powerful after the nerfs, but it is going to fall all the way through, it looks like. Flame going to be locking in the Maokai, so it will be Swain, another one of Looper's specials in the top lane.
And one thing I want to point out about the Looper Swain, Earlier this season, he did have a game on the Swain where he was 0, 0, and 0, 42 minutes into the match. So hopefully he'll have a little bit more impact than that in this time around.
He was also down like 100 CS or something.
Yeah, it was really not the most impressive game from Looper that time, but maybe this time will be a little bit different. Speaking of impressive games, we did give credit to Froggen at the end of game number 1, saying, look, he had a great performance in the Corki. Things didn't work out for the team as a whole, but if he can reprise that and do it again here in game number 2, could be exactly what the team needs.
Yeah, he was getting the best of Pobelter in the mid lane. Did play very well throughout the late and mid-game stages also. I think that a lot of this game, once again, is going to come down to the junglers. I mean, there's a lot of powerful lanes here. When you look at the mid lane, that's something that could snowball pretty heavily either way if you get either of these guys ahead. And when you look topside, the Swain is always going to be a big target with Maokai and Elise, two of the best turret divers in the game. Those guys could very easily try to pick on the Swain because the Swain is naturally a lane bully. He should be able to win the 1v1s, have an advantage against the Maokai, but you have to weigh that against the fact that if you push up too much, you could easily be taken out. So both junglers are going to be trying to take this into consideration. You know, Acadian looking for counter ganks and Dardoch looking to prey on that Swain.
Yeah, and Swain's kind of scary to gank post-6 because he's got the healing potential. He can vamp tank you. But pre-6, he's just kind of this hobbly old man that walks around, and if he throws out his never move and it misses, it's like, well, he's dead.
Yeah.
So if they capitalize on that, it could definitely be a big advantage for them. We're going to see Echo Fox heading out of base as a unit, at least right now. Might be up to some kind of level 1 tricks. Always got to keep your eyes out for those kinds of things, because most teams go in the 5-point spread, kind of like what you're seeing right now from Immortals. But Echo Fox is trying something a little bit different, it seems.
Yeah, they have Froggen moving in here. So Froggen's going to try to zone Pobelter back and then allow them to sneak into this bush here. They should not have been spotted. It was not pinged out. And we could see them kind of get baited forward. If Pobelter moves too far forward, they could decide to go for that. And same thing if Dardoch comes out. Immortals need to be disciplined, though. There's no real reason to actually go up and try to do anything here. So we'll probably see Echo Fox do a late invade where they try to wrap around this and try to catch Dardoch off guard.
Keystone Masteries at the
He's
bottom.
trying to bait him in.
Part of your screen. Courage of the Colossus on the Maokai, so no grasp. Going to be making sure he has that team fight tank ability, those big shields. Deathfire Touch on Swain, so effective on those damage over time combinations.
They're actually still here, by the way. And the minions are spawning at this point, so they're either doing some sort of late invade or they are going to be maybe even just late to lane. So we might see Gate actually just try to pop his Voidlings out on Pobelter and try to get some early harass down, be a little bit annoying, or even disrupt this first camp. So they see that, oh, that's really nice. So what he did is he actually pops his Voidling over to take out the saplings from the Maokai and make the Raptors start basically impossible for Dardoch. So Dardoch gets pushed off of that because he cannot get the saplings plus the Shock Blast to help him take down all those mini Raptors. So they've disrupted Dardoch's jungle start. He's still going to be fine. He's Elise. He can clear, but it is very nice.
That is some next level thinking.
Yeah.
Coming out from Gate and Echo Fox, recognizing that ability to shut that play down. As Gate and Keith trying to trade aggressively into Cody and Olay, but
did not work out.
A lot of damage into his own health bar for that.
Yeah, I mean, great. You have Voidlings, but the problem is you're playing against a sustained support on Nami, and they took so much poke there. Yes, they have a lot of potions, and they will start chugging them, but that was a pretty rough trade, and they were already going to be pushed in. So now it's just even more in the advantage of Immortals. The double bounce, the Nami dream.
The best possible scenario for the Nami. Just getting those massive healing and damaging waves.
Ouch.
Cody, speaking of massive, that was a big old chunk out of his HP.
Gotta respect that fourth shot. I mean, you want to back off and force him to use it on a minion. Cody-san did not do so and does throw that harass kind of right back.
Bubble not going to be finding its target. Deadly Flourish hits its way onto Olay, who flashes away and still gets shot by it.
It flashed in a straight line. He was actually pretty lucky that no one had tagged him before the Deadly Flourish. So the Q was the only thing from Jhin that had hit him, and that won't actually let you get rooted up. You need the auto from Jhin, or a trap, or some sort of damage from his support, and they didn't have it. But Olay flashed down, could draw jungle attention.
Absolutely could. Neither jungler is dead yet at this point in the game, which is a difference from game number 1.
It is a difference.
We'll have to see if Acadian can kind of come back and have a bit more of an impact in this game than he did that first time around, because we talked about the mental state a little bit, and it just seemed like Acadian was not there to make the plays he needed to make in that first match. Here in game number 2, if he can change that around.
Dardoch's there.
What they need. Dardoch going to be knocked up into the air. Acadian finding a very nice trade, getting the better of his counterpart right there. That's what he was talking about after the first time these teams met, outperforming his opponent, getting the better of him there in the river. Sadly, that's not enough to win a game, but now he's looking to go in even further. Repel going to be used. Blast cone over the wall. Meme plants in 2017.
He does get out, but meanwhile in the bot lane, they're right back to fighting. Remember, Ole has no flash, very low there, and Cody's getting chunked out here too. And now right over to mid lane, going to be able to force Pobelter out of lane at least.
Doesn't get a summoner spell though.
No.
Pobelter far enough away that he can just walk out into the brush, say you're not going to follow me any further. That kind of just forces the back coming out from those guys. Dardoch also going to be backing top side. Couldn't really find an opportunity to make that gank onto Looper we were talking about.
Yeah, I was a little bit nervous, I think, about getting counter ganked perhaps, and Flame was a bit low on HP, so you have to be scared about those things getting turned around on you. Keith has been fighting up very aggressively in the bot lane. He started Boots 4-pot, already went through all 4 pots, and now is going to base. So both of these guys have been really fighting heavily in the bot lane. The CS comes out pretty much even. Keith will get the first back off, though, and can head right back to lane, so that could net them some sort of an advantage. And now they are looking to set up this gank as Dardoch picked his Swifties up. He's quickly back to the top side. We'll see how fast Looper can react, because if you get hit by like the root into the cocoon, it's going to be tough.
Really difficult. Flame looking to make the flash play. Twisted advance follows Looper's flash. Dardoch's here grabbing that spider bite damage. Looper in some trouble. Cocoon is down, and first blood for Immortals.
And that's what it is. Easy pickings on the Swain. I mean, I don't know if he would have got out if he didn't flash, but moving outside of the minions there, if you late flash, you're an easy cocoon, pretty much guaranteed for Dardoch. They trade flashes, get the first blood on the Maokai. And if the Maokai gets too far ahead of the Swain, you cannot push this guy out of lane.
Yeah, that was kind of a wonky interaction because Flame flashes, Twisted advances, then Looper flashes, so it's just kind of this weird Maokai.
Oh, now Acadian flash cocoon!
Acadian deleted off the face of the world. Pobelter grabbing the kill credit for that one, and Immortals 2-0. Real similar to what we saw last time.
Yeah, just right back to it. I mean, Dardoch makes the gank work on top side, then Acadian trying to get something back on the bot side, gets caught out, and here it is once more. Very quick reaction from Looper, but not quick enough. And once you're out in the open here, it's super easy to just run him down. No real chance for Looper to get out. And then on the bot side, Dardoch nails the flash cocoon onto Acadian, and the kill actually goes over to Pobelter, which is pretty rough for Equifox.
Flame now trying to force the issue here onto Looper. Problem is, it's Spectre's Cal Maokai versus a Swain, so neither one of them is going to be doing a whole lot to each other without that jungle assistance from this point on. Pobelter with that blue buff up and running on the Jace means Shock Blast and Acceleration Gates aplenty, 51 to 54 in terms of the farm, so Froggen still with a little bit of an edge in that matchup, while bottom lane, Keith's doing a good enough job against the Sivir, dead even in the farm.
Yeah, I mean, Froggen has a little bit of CS advantage, but the kill that was gifted over to Pobelter is going to put him ahead, and he is going to be pretty strong at this point in the game with his early lethality. We'll be able to look for some trades, and Gate getting caught up.
And speaking of trades, Gate knocked up into the air, trying to respond with some of those vicious Malzahar crabs. The grenades start dancing around all over the place. Ole and Cody's son have to get themselves away.
This is a pretty exciting bot lane there, just fighting over and over. Exhaust traded there. It's been a straight up 2v2 too. No one has actually come down to gank. It's the bot lane dream.
They finally get left alone. They're allowed to have their 2 versus 2s without those pesky junglers getting in the way. A nice spell shield from Cody to block up the dancing grenade. Grab a little bit of mana back. Keith twirling that gun around, waiting for the 4th shot. Only going to be taking it onto a minion. As Acadian will be spotted out by Award. Dardoch hanging around in this enemy jungle. But Award will find him as well as Acadian drops one down before attempting his Gromp, realizing, hey, Dardoch might be hanging around here. Happen to be ready for that. Pobelter jumping onto Froggen, who Valkyries himself away to safety.
And you can see that early damage from the Jace, and Dardoch right back to top side. Looper has to delay for Acadian to get here. We'll see if he can delay long enough. Acadian is arriving now. Remember, Dardoch has not purchased any combat stats.
And they're switching it over to Acadian now, who's much squishier. Looper's completely out of mana. Flame's still going to be chasing this one down. Flash is not available. Twisted Advance comes in.
This is here too.
And that last auto attack finds its mark. Acadian now in some trouble. Accelerated Shock Blast says sayonara. Acadian Pobelter is going to be grabbing his second kill of the game.
Pobelter not even having to blow the flash, so the counter gank goes awry. And now they're looking for the all-in in the bot lane on Keith.
Tidal Wave comes out. On the Hunt has been popped. Keith trying to run away. The bubble looks to predict the flash, but will not be doing so. Keith, very, very low, decides to open up the curtain call, try to set something up here for Gate. The crabs are coming. So is the Malefic Visions. Last shot going to be blocked up by Olay, making sure Cody doesn't get brought down by that when Echo Fox tries to retaliate, but no dice.
Not able to get anything done there. A little bit of a chunk, but Keith is still too low, and without the summoners, has to base, and now Pobelter going up against Frog in the mid lane.
A little bit of craziness. Exhaust going to be used by Frog, and Pobelter saving his own, getting himself back, but he's got to go all the way back home. Little health and no mana is not a prescription for success on this champion, but Immortals up to a 2,500 gold lead 9 minutes in, doing great for themselves.
The early Swifty boots have paid off so much for Dardoch. He has just been everywhere on the map, and he spots out Acadian. He says, you know what, I can get to top lane first. And even though Looper does a pretty good job surviving for a while, this is not like this is a Rod of Ages Swain. He's doing almost no damage to the Maokai, and he doesn't have enough mana to really keep this up indefinitely. So the mana expires, he has no more damage left, and they can just continue to chase them in, picking up an easy kill. And Acadian was already in full retreat knowing that Pobelter was missing, and Pobelter knows his limits, doesn't even have to pop his flash, picks up a red buff, second kill. And Acadian not looking too happy about that one.
It's not his day so far. He knows that he's just got to make sure he's finding ways to get back into the game, not let it tilt him too hard. 0-2-0 on the rec side. Tiamat completed. Pobelter caught out. Gate channeling the ulti. POB using the flash, trying to walk away, but it's not going to do anything as Gate gets the first kill of the game for Echo Fox.
Yeah, there's one way back in for Echo Fox, getting a nice pick on Pobelter. It would have been good if it went over onto Frog and he could use that gold plus the red buff, but Gate will be able to have some nice extra power in the 2v2, and they have spotted the Lease out on a ward. We'll see if they can do anything with that. It looks like Echo Fox is just going to try to push for the first turret in the mid lane. Acadian doing a little bit of counter jungling, may come over and try to get some damage down on this, but Dardoch running quickly back up with those Swifty boots.
Froggen with his Sheen, very effective at putting a lot of damage pretty rapidly into these turrets, especially since you're pretty much proccing it on cooldown thanks to the rockets. Top side, though, Acadian might be looking to set something up onto Flame. Instead, decides to dip back into his own jungle, get Froggen set up with that blue while he has a chance.
Yeah, and I guess they just feel like, you know what, we can't actually do anything to the Maokai, even if we go for the gank. And now the TP coming in, they're looking for Keith.
Play coming out bot side. Keith has no way out, decides to stand and fight, but it's not going to do anything. Cody's son grabbing that one.
Dardoch here too. They want to continue the dive, perhaps. They have corralled this red buff Gate, and he looks like he's going down.
Dardoch wants those juicy double buffs. He's going to be spider food. Dardoch grabbing that one. 2-0-3 on the Elise. 5 out of 6 kill participation. He wants this win.
Yeah, I mean, Dardoch is smashing this game right now. He has been absolutely everywhere. Just running around the map, not prioritizing his farming, just prioritizing making the plays happen, and it feels like everywhere he goes, he's able to pull it off, and now they can even grab the dragon here. They have the advantage on that as well, and Pobelter is doing well. Every lane now is ahead for Immortals.
And they're going to go ahead and rotate over into the Drake. Why not, right? You're this far ahead, take every single objective that you can find. Mountain Drake is going to be the first one around this time, not the Ocean Drakes that we saw in game number 1. And with that pickup, they're going to have some extra objective control as this game continues, on top of their already 3,000 gold lead.
It's really feeling like a tough one for Echo Fox. They're going to have to really slow down the pace of this game or start getting some pickoffs because they need to find a way back in. Pobelter is flashless. Nice play onto him.
Very good trigger pull from Echo Fox. They utilized the power of the dive from Acadian as well as the lockdown from Gate. They knew Pobelter's flash was down from earlier too.
And they've been kind of going back to this point of strength. I mean, we talked about how well Froggen played last game. This game, he was doing well for himself also, and Cadian does need to be careful. He's not going to get caught out here again. Now bubbled up. He's just going to die for that. I mean, that is mental errors. That is unacceptable play. I mean, he's going in there. He sees the collapse happening. He still tries to stay and steal it. Doesn't even use his smite to finish it off earlier. And then just feeds over another kill. I mean, that looks like one tilted player.
That's not where you need to be. Cody even grabs the red buff. Cadian doesn't even get the $100 extra for killing the creep. That
feels bad.
Feels bad, man. Immortals, though, feeling plenty good about that result. 7-2 now overall. Echo Fox putting some damage into this bottom lane turret, trying to catch up in that respect at least. They're only down 1-0 in turrets so far. Dardoch skittering his way towards the bottom lane, but that primal scream from Cadian going to signal that he might need to back up just a little bit. Invading now into enemy territory. Dardoch has spotting out Cadian, tries to steal it away, but Cadian's got his smite button ready that time, decides to keep that buff for himself. As Echo Fox's bottom lane decides they have to retreat as Dardoch's coming for the collapse. So is Pobelter. Accelerated Shock Blast finding its way onto Keith. Pobelter still wants to go for this.
Nice exhaust.
Exhaust used to keep him away. Curtain Call opens up. Pobelter in some danger here. TP's going to be channeled as well. Cadian getting bursted. Dardoch jumping right back in to find that spider bite.
Oh, the TP got canceled, so they don't even have swing coming in. I'm not sure if he got interrupted or what happened. Yeah, it was an ultimate from Nami.
Now Flame into the back line, gonna be soaking these guys up. Froggen's gonna be brought down first. Flame goes down with him. Pobelter trying to run away. Dardoch gonna be dropped next. Deadly Flourish does miss. Gate still trying to chase this one down. Pobelter not in any real danger. He has his ultimate, he can flash.
Will not decide to go for it.
Gate doesn't want that one. What a bunch of craziness.
Yeah, I mean, there's kills everywhere. In the meantime, Cody's son and Olay were just pushing turrets. They're shoving down. They're getting farm. They are looking pretty strong here. Echo Fox, something going for them is if you look across the map, top, middle, and bot all have ridiculously low turrets. So there's really close to actually picking up a bunch of global gold here. One shot on that will do it. They can rotate top, they can rotate middle. If Froggen can get to any of these turrets, they will take them down. And here's the fight once again. Belter going a little bit too early there, does get exhausted up, and he takes so much damage, and this was the interrupt. Really heads up play there from Olay to actually stop that. Otherwise, Swain would have been behind them, and this would have been Immortals getting completely routed. But as it is, they still decide to turn around and try to go for this play. Ends up being a relatively even trade, a little bit in Vox's advantage, but because of the turret going down top side, it's a bit of a wash.
Yep, 2-1 turret count for Immortals right now. Next Drake's going to be Cloud spawning in a few minutes.
So grab another turret here.
But Echo Fox has bodies top side. They even up that turret count for themselves. Still keeping this a relatively close game. Only 2,000 gold down despite how shaky things have been so far. And honestly, the performance from the bottom lane, the performance from the mid lane, it's been fine. It's really the top and jungle for Echo Fox that are hurting right now.
Yeah, and even the top side, you know, at least there is a farm advantage there. Cadian has been farming well. It's been one thing he has been doing too. So Dardoch is very strong and will continue to have to make plays to get his team ahead, because Elise is kind of one of those champions that succeeds mostly in the early game, especially when you are going for these types of builds. He went for the Moby boots first. He wanted to roam around and make plays, and he has done that. But unfortunately for him, his team has not really been able to get as much out of it as you would hope, right? You know, Pobelter was kind of gifted a couple kills, even a red buff, and didn't get too much done with it.
Nice accelerated shock blast onto Keith, plus the boomerang blade damage. Going to be taking him down to about 1/4 HP. Mid lane turret also pretty hurt. Immortals trying to cash in on some of that standing gold too.
Yeah, both the mid lane turrets are very low here, so you could see a lot of bodies being drawn to that middle lane. People trying to fight for it. Right now, Froggen would love to push in, just get 1 or 2 more Sheen autos down on that turret, and it will be theirs. And with the support around him, he should be able to do it just fine. But Immortals is making their response by shoving bot side. Dardoch is hovering around there, and they could look to pull off a dive if Keith moves too close.
Echo Fox grabs themselves that mid lane tier 1. Immortals looking to trade it for the T2 bottom side. Dardoch and Pobelter have plenty of damage to take that one down, but somebody needs to get the last shot. The minions will do it. Leave it up to them. They get themselves away. Cloud Drake here in about 45 seconds. Immortals want to make sure that Echo Fox isn't able to push down anything else, though. Gold staying very, very close, as every single time somebody gets something, the response is immediately there from the other side.
Yeah, it's got to feel a little bit worrying for Immortals with how well it started, that their opponents are hanging around. But that said, we know how effective the Sivir can be in the late game. Looking for the engage on Olay. He's kind of caught out.
Olay in some real trouble, keeping himself alive for now. Deadly Flourish going to be sidestepped, and Cadian brought down again. 0 and 5 on the jungler who had been doing so well.
Looper's gone too now.
Now might be in some danger of his own. Curtain calls coming out. The shots hitting. The last one hits Flame and I think might have healed him. That just did no damage whatsoever. That Maokai is so tanky.
Nami is behind enemy lines. Leave no man behind, Dardoch. Get down there.
Saving Private Nami. Looper's going to be bound up. Here comes your Cocoon. The burst comes through, and Looper will not be finding that fish today.
Even Olay lives. He was on an adventure throughout that fight. Almost dies at the start. He's making a mad run through the jungle, and I see Dardoch come in there, pick up another kill, save him as well. We now have 4-1 and 5 on the Elise. Dardoch has just been smashing this game.
Sadly for Immortals, they got to yield control of this second Drake, meaning they're not going to keep piling those on like they did in game number 1. Granted, it's Cloud Drake, kind of the meme Drake, the one that everybody says, oh well, throw it away, it doesn't matter, we'll get the next one that actually matters. That one will be picked up by their opponents. Next will be Ocean, so we're getting a whole smorgasbord of Drakes this game, not really any pure stack like we saw in game number 1.
Yeah, a little bit of everything. I do think that the Cloud Dragon is actually pretty strong, but it's not going to be the end of the world, and none of them are really the end of the world type dragons. It's mostly when it starts to stack that they become a problem, right? Because someone gets too far ahead of you in one specific strength, right? Oh, they have triple Ocean, well now they just always out-regen you. Oh, well they have triple Infernal, now they're just too much stronger than you in combat stats. So that's really where the dragons come to start to be problematic, but one of any I don't think is the biggest of deals, especially when you're trading something for it, which Immortals has done, right? They got big gold advantages, and that's what they're looking to kind of snowball into a victory right now. As Cody's he's almost done his second item with that Shiv. He is going to start really picking up in power, having high CDR. He's going to be able to wave clear like a beast, and then work very quickly towards that IE.
Package ready on Froggen. Seeing if maybe there's anything to do with this one. A lot of people hanging around mid lane, so he might find the opportunity to use it. Immortals has to be careful about that prospect. They look like they're looking to make some kind of a play, but you've always got to be aware if Corky's got that package
behind him,
the hunt's going to be used. Flame coming in, they're looking to catch out Acadian yet again. The blast plant takes him over the wall, and Acadian gets away.
Oh man, looked like their fates were tied, but Acadian pops himself right out of there, and now the curtain call coming in. Pobelter taking some damage here.
Fourth shot gonna be finding him, and Froggen's got the follow-up. Flame's gonna be cut down next. Should be no way out of this one. Not tanky enough to survive the 5 versus 1. And Echo Fox grabbed 2.
That's a big 2 kills. Is they're gonna get more? They're gonna get at least this outer turret here, and maybe just continue to push. There's still 30 seconds on the Flame, 20 on Pobelter. They could potentially force this inhibitor turret.
Echo Fox looking to make some big moves here, just 20 minutes into the match. If you can crack the base this early, it can be huge.
What a turnaround.
Immortals just has nothing they can do to block this. Echo Fox is taking down the turret. They've already got it. Still 10 seconds before Flame's back alive. Olay gonna be taken low. Froggen exhausted, can't find the kill. Acadian now might be caught out.
Dardoch's up.
Damage will get him. The Ricochet won't bring him down. Pobelter looking for the opportunity to grab some kind of damage off of that. Trying to catch up to Gate to the skies. Brings him down. Acadian gonna be popped now by Dardoch. Looper trying to run, never moved, not finding its way onto the spider. A double kill for the Immortals mid laner, and Echo Fox's push is punished.
I mean, they get the inhibitor turret, but then they needed to leave. They overstay, they chase for kills, and this is gonna be Immortals going for the Baron here. Should be an easy one, 5 versus 2. No jungler up here for Acadian. Would need to be a miracle, but Echo Fox not even gonna stay around to try, and very unfortunate for them. They make the play to get back into the game, and then they throw it right away.
And then they just toss it right back out the window. We're watching a good old game of catch as they all just throw it back and forth. That was not what Echo Fox
good old-fashioned NA League of Legends.
NA League of Legends, baby. Here's the replay.
Yeah, Froggen, good initiation. Actually get some nice usage out of that package. And unfortunately for Immortals, they were pretty split up. I mean, where is Flame to block these shots, right? He needed to be there as this big tank. He's not there to block the shots. He doesn't even have his ultimate up before he gets ultimated out by the Malzahar. So these are mistakes from Flame, certainly. And this is the kind of issues that Immortals often struggles from, is they're not on the same page. They get split up in team fights. They're not communicating properly. When they look good, it's mostly because of individual plays. And when they look bad, it's because of a breakdown in communication. But this game, they're way up.
Now they've got the opportunity to properly communicate and coordinate themselves for some massive advantages with this Baron buff. Flame hanging around on the top side, everybody else setting up shop mid lane. They've got one tier 2 turret left to take. It is this one on the top side. Should be pretty much free money with the Baron buff up and running on them. They've got an over 5,000 gold advantage. They want to get as much from this Baron as they can to make sure the game doesn't slip back into Echo Fox's fingers after the buff wears away.
Yeah, exactly. They really do need to capitalize on this and try to get as much as they possibly can. Flame is going to have to go answer this massive minion wave on the bot side, so they are a 4-man squad and will have to play a little bit safe. Flame has his TP if there is a hard engage coming out, but they still do have to respect it because the TP takes some time. It's not like the Stand United for the instant impact. And Echo Fox could look to try to start something. I think they're going to go for it here.
Immortals would have needed one more shot to take down that turret, but they decide to play it safe. You got to respect that.
Yep.
Sometimes just the extra half second you would need to stay around for that auto attack is the half second they need to engage on you.
Exactly. That was exactly the time that they were going to go. Acadian was posed on the side. Keith had his ult ready. Gate has flash already. So they were looking. And we'll see if they're actually going to make the call because now time is ticking against them. Flame is pushing in the bot side. They're going for it.
There you go. Tidal Wave looking to disengage this. Cody's son forced to flash back. Almost going to be killed. Damage coming in. Olay flashes back over the wall, but it's 2 dead on Echo Fox. 1 for Immortals. Acadian going to be cleaned up again. Froggen and Keith retreating as the push comes in even stronger for Immortals.
Echo Fox make the call, but they can't make the play work. And Immortals, with the Baron buff, going to be pushing in, break the base at 24 minutes.
They had their top lane broken very early. They're returning the favor now, and they're going to get the extra bonus on top. The inhibitor itself falling 24 minutes, 20 seconds into this game. As Immortals packs up and leaves safely, they're not going to commit the same sins Fox did.
Well, Immortals, they could go for mid lane. We'll see if they're going to try to stick around. And here's the play once more. Echo Fox knows they need to commit to it, but they can't finish anyone off. Look how low Cody's son gets there, but he does not go down. He's able to get lots of damage out still in the team fight, staying alive. The only casualty being Olay. And, you know, they had to kill someone off, a major carry, before that TP came in, but they couldn't do it. Immortals get the inhibitor, they get the dragon, they get the kills, and they are very, very ahead.
8,000 gold, Azael. This game went from, we can come back into it, we're in a good spot for Echo Fox, to, man, this is hard. 0 damage in that fight from Gate.
Not sure how that happened.
Me either.
You
would think that one of the crabs would like randomly walk into somebody.
Yeah.
And
or flash. He used his flash. I mean, he had his ultimate. Not really sure, but
maybe he got bubbled instantly after the flash. I'm not quite sure.
CC'd.
Something happened because he contributed nothing and just got himself destroyed in that fight. Meanwhile, lots of damage coming out from both the big carries on the side of Immortals. Dardoch doing his part as well.
The top side of the map is just so problematic for Echo Fox. I mean, Looper is 0-5. Acadian is 2-7. Their counterparts for Immortals are massive this game. And the Maokai is going full tank build. I think this is really the right choice. You know, screw the Iceborne Gauntlet. Just go directly for the Frozen Heart in a game like this where you're already so far ahead. And you can use that to just be able to bully in your opponents, go for dives, because there's enough damage coming out behind him. The Elise is very strong. The Sivir is very strong. The Jace is very strong. The Maokai just has to stay alive, and they will crush the team fights. Because this is now the 3-item Infinity Edge Sivir that we've talked about.
Dardoch taking a big old bite out of Acadian, takes off about 60% of his HP with just that basic combo. Acadian's in no spot to resist that. He has no magic resistance. He has a Mercury Tread.
Yeah, Mercury Tread hardly even counts, and they're going to push in here. They're going to be able to bully down another turret. This one's going down very fast.
Gate loses.
Dardoch has to be careful, though.
But Dardoch almost gets squished by the tower. Redemption coming out to keep him alive. Olay going to go ahead and pop some of those Nami heals as well. Flame hanging out in the mid lane, got the Dead Man's Plate up and running too in case he needs to collapse on any of these guys. Continuing to push the waves in, provide threat in multiple locations at the same time. Push continues from Immortals. Couple more auto attacks to seal the deal. Cody's got that last one, and the turret has fallen, meaning inhibitor number 2 is now exposed.
And the minions are going to keep crashing in on the top side. They'll have to keep responding to them. And Immortals is pinging over, towards the mid lane. That's pushing. The top lane is pushing. They can move in, take down this second inhibitor. Echo Fox has to choose their moment. They cannot give these inhibitors up for free, and here they go.
Flame gonna be on the front line. Gate gonna be deleted instantly. Froggen running away. Looper popping the Zonias in the middle of everyone. Redemption coming down, trying to keep him alive. It's not gonna be doing a lot though. Dardoch grabbing the kill onto that one. Flame still just gonna be soaking everyone. Immortals has a 3 for 0. And ladies and gentlemen, they're gonna be finding a Nexus 2 27 minutes in. They're going to 2-0 Echo Fox.
What a series from Immortals, stamping out Echo Fox. Echo Fox going to end the week 0-2, and Immortals are coming up big, 7-2 and 10. Was 7-1 and 10 before that fountain dive for Dardoch. He looked great, and Immortals look clean today.
We started off this series today with Dardoch saying, I'm better than Acadian, and Acadian saying, I'm better than Dardoch. The results today showed one of those two was correct.
Yep, Dardoch was certainly the better jungler today, really outclassing his opponent in both games. This second one, I mean, the fans are loving it. The Elise was a masterclass. This guy was everywhere, gets the early mobility boots. He's able to make the ganks happen on top side, get down to bot side. He was everywhere, getting advantages for his team, and they were able to snowball that into a pretty comfortable victory.
Immortals now 5-5 going into the second half of the split. They're dead even. Echo Fox going to be sitting on 4-6 instead. They know that they've got some things to work on in this off week before we hit that second half. But Immortals working as a unit again. There was a little bit of picking on Pobelter towards the mid game from Echo Fox. They were able to exploit that a little bit, but Dardoch's carry pants were just up and on, man. He was ready to go.
They certainly were. And I mean, for Echo Fox, it's got to be a bit frustrating because both times they had their chances to get back into those games. You know, game one, the bot lane fight, the 5-0 ace, where they then kind of pushed a little bit too far after that. This game, they knock down the inhibitor turret, they overstay, they get taken out, they lose the Baron. That's really what knocked them out of this game. Before that, they were still hanging around, right? They were still actually battling back into the game, and they just got too greedy. They tried to dive into the base, try to get kills, but the respawn timers were coming up, and to me, that was really the turning point of the game.
Absolutely. You even said as it was happening, what an amazing turnaround, talking about for Echo Fox.
Yeah. And then they made it a turnaround for
What an amazing turnaround into an even more amazing turnaround. Slash throw.
The problem becomes people feel like you're losing the whole game, and then they're like, this is our moment. We must make it happen right now, right?
Do or die.
Exactly. They feel like they have to make that one moment pay off to make up for the rest of the game. But they weren't in that desperate of a situation. It wasn't a do or die type situation, even if it felt like it. They could have backed off, taken those 2 turrets that they got, taken their gold advantages, and backed away into a very even game.
And Immortals kept their cool. Even though things looked like they were going bad, they were able to say, okay, they're staying a little bit too long. We can punish this. And as soon as they punish, they grab the Baron afterwards, and it ultimately nets them that very nice 2-0 victory.
And this is really the first week that Acadian has not looked stellar. You know, even while Echo Fox was losing, people were talking about this guy crushing the league, being the best jungler in the league. And I mean, today he didn't look great. Yesterday, his Kha'Zix performance left a lot to be desired. So, you know, maybe some of the pressure is getting into him now that there's all this hype around him.
Yep. The words rookie of the split have been tossed around a lot talking about Acadian because he's had some amazing performances. But this week was the first time that the performances were not quite up to that same level. And hopefully for his sake and for Echo Fox's sake, we're going to see the guy bounce back in week number 6. But for now, for the inside perspective on that game, we're headed stage side where Kobe has an interview with Immortals jungler himself.
That's right. We've got Dardoch here. Congratulations on your victory. The team has to be feeling a lot better. What's the team atmosphere right now?
Our atmosphere is okay. We were really disappointed from losing yesterday, but we bounced back and played well.
You definitely did, and a big part of that was you. How do you feel about the overall jungle champion pool right now? Because I don't know if you know, on the other stream, we saw Shaco pop out. Moon, yeah, exactly. He also did the Kindred, though, so you know, things are getting a little out there. How do you feel about, as you know, the tier list? How is it dropping down?
Generally, Graves and Rengar are the strongest 2, and then after it's like Elise, Kha'Zix, Lee Sin, Rek'Sai, like based on player to player. I definitely think there's more viable champions than that. Like, I've played some Rumble. There's Ivern, Shaco, Warwick. Yeah, there's a lot of viable stuff, but generally people just stick to the top 6.
Yeah, definitely agreeing right now. And you guys, your next matchup coming up next week is going to be Team Liquid. So you get to go up against your old rival there, Reignover. Last season, that was definitely a big thing. How are you feeling about going up against Reignover now that you have taken down Acadian?
I'm always excited to play against Reignover because I've always had a lot of respect for him. I think he's really good. Hopefully Team Liquid gets in better form, so it won't be as easy this time. But Yeah, Acadian was like not as good as I thought too.
Woo! All right, let's send it back over to the guys at the desk then to handle that one.
Thank you very much, Kobe. Big words there coming out of Dardoch, but to be entirely honest,
He backed him up.
I was going to say they're not unwarranted given Acadian's performance this week. We heard the casters talking about it as well, a bit of a slump for him. And I think if anything, what this series proves is how much of a linchpin he is for that squad. When he's not finding success, neither is Echo Fox as a whole.
A lot of people coming into the season were kind of criticizing Echo Fox. They're saying, oh, these don't look like the biggest upgrades, and this won't solve a lot of their problems. Acadian starts going crazy at the beginning of the season, carries that team to a lot of wins, and Froggen's looking better with the aggressive jungler that we think he needs to become the kind of main carry of a team. But then as soon as Acadian comes back down to earth a little bit, the team is struggling. And I mean, it's kind of the whole like odd week Echo Fox, but it is really concerning where like what else does this team have to really get advantages if it's not off Acadian?
Right, and it is very reminiscent of the old Echo Fox when he isn't performing, where it's okay, well, Froggen is still, getting his advantages or at least farming even and playing well, but we're not seeing leads or advantages extend to the side lanes, and it feels like at that point they're kind of struck with that same inaction that they had all last split.
Right, it was definitely the case where, Froggen had two individually good series in lane, I think. He was generally getting the better of Pobelter, but, Acadian was not playing well, especially in this game. He had a lot of mistakes game two, where he would just get caught out in the enemy team's jungle, and then it's hard, honestly, as a mid laner to kind of make plays when your jungler's dead or behind, but it still feels like the same problem that happened last year where Froggen's doing well. What else is the team doing?
Exactly, and Acadian's bad performance made worse by the fact that Dardoch put up a very solid one on Elise this time around with the Moby boots early on, making a lot of visitation to the different lanes, top lane in particular, helping that out. I think we have a bit of a replay package to kind of look at Dardoch and the different moves he was able to make around the map.
Right, I mean, overall, a lot of the early game advantages did come off of the decision-making by Dardoch. So here, sits in the back, Flame goes for the twisted advance, the flash too late, follows it, and then he has a nice repel to get involved. And then it's just basically a chase down the lane. It's a Swain, kind of extended, nice first blood. The big thing is he gets the Moby boots after that, is able to get bottom again and finish off Acadian, who's trying to get some counter jungling done, which is where you get to see the power of it here. It's a 2v2. Acadian tries to get the counter gank, but Flame is just too big, and it's a nice target selection where they swap off to Acadian to make him low, so he's scared to keep fighting, and then they can go back onto the Manaless Looper and finish him off. So overall, we see a great tag team, as well as there's a nice little roam there by Pobelter, who was kind of getting out of lane. Same thing here, another just chase down by Dardoch. You see him be able to just get close onto people faster than they think is possible with those Moby boots.
All right, that's the thing. And from Acadian's perspective, he cannot keep up now with Dardoch's positioning around the map. Even if he knows to a degree where Dardoch's going to be next, he simply won't get there as quickly. And so he's relying then on just tracking the jungler and telling his teammates, hoping that they retreat out of an overextended lane in time. But you can see here, that's a beautiful gold grab for Immortals. Just the one dip where they had a throne fight, but for the most part, playing that game out pretty smoothly.
Right, I mean, they tried to force an engage onto Echo Fox there. Then their formation kind of breaks. Pobelter gets sniped out, he dies, and then Echo Fox is able to close out onto the inhibitor turret, and then they overextend, and the good collapse once again when people respawn by Immortals. And then after that, it's pretty clean.
Absolutely. Player of the game going to Dardoch this time around. We've said it before, but this team feels like it hinges on Dardoch playing well. When he's on, he's on. When he's off, it feels like, it's get a kill, run and die. Get a kill, then run in and die. And sometimes that can really eat away at the mentality of a team. But when he's succeeding and picking up kill after kill, you can kind of see the momentum pick up and shift for the team.
Right, and I think just seeing the Elise out of him is something I really like, because we haven't seen a ton of it, and we see a lot of really AD-heavy comps where their jungler is once again Rengar, Kha'Zix, something like that. And if those get banned out and you take the Elise early with the Jace, I just like the fact that they're not tunneling on what are the strongest picks necessarily. They show that the comp and how all the damage is going to come together is important still. And then they end up going with the Maokai last, not flexing the Jace and doing anything like that. But overall, I really like what I saw out of Immortals today with their drafts in general.
Yep.
They tend to be a little hit or miss, especially around the bot lane. But whenever they do secure a good actual bot lane and they're not picking Bard randomly or Morgana at the wrong times or Janna, their bot lane actually does fairly well.
Yeah, Echo Fox is going to be, a bit sad with the 0-2 week here on the odd week in week 5, but Immortals striking back, making it a 1-1 week and a salvageable weekend at that. We've got more league action coming your way. Team Liquid and Counterlogic Gaming battle on the Rift after the break. Don't go anywhere.